G'day traders, John here from Crypto Candlestick Trading, doing an update on Bitcoin and the US markets. Just have a look at those a little bit later on in the video. Crypto.com, we'll just start there. So just looking at this one here, there's a couple of things that I noticed with this one, and that is that we have divergence. So if we just have a look at for when the divergence happened in history, and then we can kind of see what we could possibly expect now. So there's divergence there, and have a look at the result that happened from the bounce on the 200. Now we've got divergence again at this stage here, so whether it's ready to turn around yet or not, we don't know exactly, but divergence usually says that there's more strength coming into the market now, and yet the scared traders are selling out still. So here's divergence, there's a result, here's divergence again. What will be the result from here? One thing that I can see on this one here is the 50 has crossed below the 200, which is usually seen as a pretty negative sort of thing. Like when the 50 crosses the 200 here on the upside, usually goes into positive sort of action. But I actually find these crossovers to be quite late. Like really, if you have a look at from this here, like that's actually the biggest one there. So if we have a look, if you're going to use this as timing your entries and all that sort of stuff, you're kind of going to be well and truly behind the 8 ball, because this has gone all the way from here, and in the time that it's taken to get there, it's risen that far. So it's not very good for that kind of a thing, really. On the weekly chart, if we have a look, we've consolidated down here nicely, and then barely any volume, and then the volume's picked up quite drastically with the buying side. Come back down, found support on the 50, had a nice big push again, and now we're back to the 50 again, and we've got low volume. So we can see on both of these pushes here, we've got volume increasing on the green, and we've got on the pullbacks, we've got volume declining on the red, which is really good on the selling side. Over to Bitcoin, let's have a look at that. So with Bitcoin here, I was kind of expecting, a potential cup and handle sort of thing there, and I was looking at a breakout here. I ended up getting into some Bitcoin, or into one Bitcoin here, around about here somewhere. I didn't really like it. I started taking a little bit of defensive action, not much defensive action, but a little bit of defensive action around this time here. And so, I'm still holding most of what I bought with the Ethereum and the Bitcoin. So anyway, but that's where it is now. So if I was to take this off, I'll just get rid of that and just have a look here, because if we have a look here, we've had a nice big push, and then we've had like a bit of a consolidation, and then we broke out again, and now we've done the same again. So we've gone up, but here actually this is looking like a pretty good base, but it's also looking like a high, low, lower high. If we were to break this lower low here, this could potentially set up for a double bottom bounce, but I'm not sure if we'll actually get that though, because you can see down here, as soon as it's come down under these moving averages, we've had buying pressure coming in straight away, engulfing, closing above. Now we're going to hammer again, but this hasn't finished yet. We've still got till Monday of next week before this finishes. So, but on the daily chart, you can see that it's come down to the 200 almost, and stochastics are very, very oversold. Usually when we get over like conditions of oversold with the stochastics, we're looking for buy signals. Okay, anyway, so there's Bitcoin. So really, there's not too much there. Oh, hang on 2 seconds. There was one thing that I was going to do. Let's just have a look at this. So I'm kind of looking at this sort of thing now as a potential cup and handle sort of thing, or even if I get rid of that, and we'll just extend that a little bit further again and include what we've got now. So I'll just get rid of that. So if we went a massive big handle like that, then that could be a potential for what we're looking at. I'll just carry that on a little bit there. So like this could actually be starting to head up here, round about like that, to make some sort of a massive big base before we break out there. Who knows what's going to happen exactly, but we do see that there's been quite a bit of selling happening here at this stage here, but we do have supportive action at that. The 200 stochastics are oversold. Things are looking pretty good. Well, actually they're looking pretty good for a bit of a bounce from this level here. Just get rid of that. Okay, moving on, we'll just go to Solana and do a few of these other ones. So with I'll get onto that there. Yep. Okay, so on the right hand side I've got the weekly chart, on the left hand side I've got the daily chart, and on this one here I was actually we had a nice big push there and a pullback and pushing up above the 50, and I was kind of looking for entries around here. And anyway, there was an engulfing there, but anyway, obviously you can see that didn't work. And one thing, when we actually see that it hasn't worked, so one thing that I'm looking at often, especially on the daily chart, is if I draw a trend line and we've got 3 touches there, as soon as it's broken that trend line there, I know that there's problems. You know, you can, if you were to be buying this one here, you could actually be reducing your position right here, even though it's at the same level. You know, like let's say you risk 1% here, you could reduce that risk to 0.5% here and just take half of it off the table. That's not a bad strategy, really. You know, when we're talking about protecting our account, like really, that's the most important thing in trading is account protection, capital protection. Because if you don't protect your capital, pretty soon you won't be able to trade. So you have to protect your capital at all times. We can see down here with Cardano as well. I was kind of looking at, you know, an entry with Cardano, but you know, we can't really be looking at that now because, you know, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. We're underneath the moving averages on the 50. Oh, sorry, on the weekly chart, and then on the daily chart, we're also down here. But have a look at this, all this buying that's happened around it here. And we've got stochastics oversold. We've also got divergence as well. We can see that we came in lower there, a little bit higher, so that means there's more strength coming back into the market. We're down to 39 cents with Cardano. So anyway, we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. I'm not really all that excited about it, to be honest. Moving on, and EGLD, like, you know, this one here. So let's have a look at that. That was up near $80, and now, you know, and then it went all the way down to $25. Tron, let's have a look at that one. Now with Tron, have a look at that on the daily chart. So we're broken above the 50. We've got a rocket booster there. We've pulled back for 2, and then we're getting engulfing. You know, this is beautiful. I really do like this sort of stuff here, but in saying that, though, this candle here does look a little bit extended. That would not surprise me if it came back down to find some sort of support on these sort of closes, that price there or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if it did that. You know, it's just pretty typical. You know, it goes up, pulls back a little bit, goes up, pulls back a little bit, up, pulls back a little bit. Probably the same again. We'll have to wait and see. CRO, crypto.com. So here we are at the 50. So can we get a bounce from here? We can see here we've got, you know, an increase in buying there. And then when we're on the decline, we've got decreasing selling volume, increasing buying again, and decreasing selling volume back down to the 50 on the weekly chart. And we also had divergence here as well. So we're strongly heading down, and we've got strength coming back into the market. Even though I don't like this volume very much, you know, there's quite a bit of selling that's happened around here. But we do have support at this stage here on the 50. VeChain, let's have a look at VeChain. And there was something about VeChain that really looked quite, you know, this up here was very ugly on the daily charts. Let's have a look at that. Because yeah, here, you know, like that third base and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I ended up buying out of there. Where was it? So this is the first base breakout. Bought out of there. Second stage. I'm not sure if I can't remember. So I bought down here. I didn't actually get an entry in the break of the second base here. That's way too big. And but anyway, straight away we went into wide and loose trading. You know, straight out of second base, which is pretty. Don't really hear that very often. You know, like usually it's third base that like when we break out of third base, it's usually, you know, gets wide and loose then, and we start to lose the trades at that stage there. You know, breaking third base, but we didn't actually break third base. All we did was went up to 200 on the weekly chart and then come back down. So, okay, moving on. EGLD. Let's have a look at that. Look at that, terrible. But we do have stochastics oversold, massive volume. We've got buying that's coming in here. We've got an engulfing rocket booster. Now we're trading above the 9. Let's just wait and see what happens here. But, you know, like this here, this is a contraction pattern. And then all of a sudden we're broken to the downside with this one here, and we just kept on going. Even though there's a fair bit of buying came back in there, you know, we still kept on going down. So, interesting. All right, just carrying on. I'll just do a few more of these ones here, and then we'll just go into the US market. Here, below the moving averages. So I was actually looking at this one here. I really like Shiba. You know, not that I'm a big fan of Shiba. I do, you know, I have some, but you know, here, massive big push there. That was good. And then I was looking for an entry here. I think it was that one there, the engulfing there. But obviously you can see that didn't work. You know, it worked for a little bit, but very quickly it turned around and came back down. So now let's have a look at the weekly chart. What are we doing there? So the weekly chart. Oh yeah. So we got supportive action here on the weekly chart too. Let's just have a look at that. I'll just go all the way from back here. So we've got support, resistance, or support, breakthrough, resistance, breakthrough. Now we've got support again at the same level. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that one there. Let's have a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum, so here was a cup and handle. You know, the handle didn't actually, you know, we've kind of just traded down the whole way, which is, you know, it's a pretty positive thing to have happen in the handle. But one thing I don't really like about this is if this is the cup, you know, if this here is the cup and then this is the handle is way too long for the cup. But I can actually see something now. I'll just change it around a little bit and we'll just have a look at something else. So if that was the cup and then that was the handle, that is still doable. You know, we can still see that that's, you know, we've had a nice push up, we've had a big cup, And what's that? That's only about a 6-week cup. Let's just have a look at that there. That's the 10th of March. Well, to around about where we are now, March, April, May, June. So about 3 months, somewhere around about 3 months. So 3 and a bit months. Anyway, so there's Ethereum there. So, and on the weekly chart, actually on the weekly chart. So let's have a look at this on the weekly chart. This is exactly what this is the handle part that I'm looking at here. Let's have a look at the weekly chart on Ethereum. So I can see here, we've got the same kind of thing happening on this side here. So we've got a beautiful looking, it's kind of like looking a little bit like that on the weekly chart. Nice big push, pullback, and so the entry, I'm just gonna do something here. So the entry would be right above this high here. So I'm just going to draw a line there. I'm going to set an alert on that one there, because as soon as it breaks there, I'll be watching this on the way anyway. So, but have a look at this volume here, this green volume in the buying side. It's beautiful. And look at the declining red volume down here. That declining red volume is saying something. Like there's less and less sellers here, but there's more and more buyers. So, all these people that bought here are still holding. And this is from the large institutions mostly. So. Now, okay, let's have a look at that there. So let's just have a look at this price here. So I'm looking at the H, I'm looking at the high in this one here. So now that's 4,084. Let's go to 44,100. So if I'm just going to go to do an alert here. What did it say? 4,100, something like that. Actually, I'm going to do 4090, something like that. 4090. Let's have a look at that. So yep, that's just, so it'll be just above there, so only 5 points above it or something like that. But as soon as this goes above there on the weekly chart, I'll be notified about that, and then I'll be able to act on that if I want. Moving on, NIA, same again. So I was expecting a cup and handle here, nice big push, cup handle, didn't actually get the breakout, so it just failed. So this is actually a good thing, like when the cup shapes up like this, then the handle shapes up like that. We're ready for our entry. But if we don't get the entry, there's no entry. We just don't get in. If it goes up and shows the strength and gives us good positive boost in the man, have a look at that volume there. Check out that volume. There's no volume there in the handle whatsoever. That's quite constructive. But anyway, we'll see what happened after it. But this here, if it goes there and then it breaks above there, then we're looking at getting in. If it doesn't break above, we're not buying. We're not getting in. So a couple more and then we'll move on. I think I said that a couple ago. So. Here, so if we can see, nice big decline there, and same here, decline there, and not much going on there. So this one here, BitGet, I was looking at BitGet here, so this is the base count. If we have a look at the base count here, so we've probably got first base here, second base here, and third base is up around here where it's getting all wide and loose and pretty ugly. So if that's first base, somewhere around there. Yeah, somewhere around there at 49 cents. This is around about where I was, started buying this, 49 cents, and up, and then pull back up. It came in nicely there, like to the 50 moving average, then popped again. Another back at the 50 moving average, popped again. But now have a look at this. This is that wide and loose trading after third base that we usually get and we can usually expect. This is ugly as, man. We don't really want to be trading this or even trying to find entries in this. Then again, however, I do like that. Look at that engulfing there. It's beautiful. Same with this one here. Both of those are really good. Here, break of that high there. I'm sure I alerted this one too. There was about 2 or 3 entries that I got with this one here. But anyway, this is more so dollar cost averaging on my account there. So, all right, I'm gonna give that a miss, and I'm gonna go on to a few of these other ones that I have traded, and we'll just have a look. And let's have a look at the IPOs. So some of these IPOs, and I got some crypto stocks that are in there as well. So here, we came down massively, and then we gapped up, and have a look at the result from the gap up. And here I was looking for entries here because stochastics were oversold. And isn't it interesting that this candle here undercut all these lows back here, which basically took out everyone else's stop loss. This is big money orchestrating this before we take off. So looking for entries around about here, wasn't a bad thing. We still, there was entries, a little bit further on down the track. But here we can see a nice base that's happened. We've, had a nice push and a pullback, and then, I'm looking at coming out of these ones here, But Robinhood markets, I do like Robinhood markets. I'm keeping an eye on this, quite closely, because I think this could potentially go somewhere. Nice big base there, pop, retest, and then we're away. So moving on, nice big push. We've got a nice cup and a little bit of a handle there, sort of like a breakout. We've got good volume accumulation here. It's not perfect, it just looks okay at this stage here. So, you know, like it looks very strong, but I can't really see any very, very clear entries, except for that hammer there, but it's quite long and wide and stuff. So now let's have a look at this one here. So from earnings, had a nice big push there, pull over to the 21, and then we're, you know, breaking these highs here. So yeah, that's looking pretty good there. Also looking for something here. The numbers on these ones here are fantastic too. You know, the earnings and sales and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's no wonder why big money are liking these ones. NU holdings. So here we are, we've got a base structure here, like a kind of a cup and a handle sort of thing. Even though like this is kind of wide and loose trading here, we do have an engulfing that's closing above there, and post has gone up a little bit as well. We've got an engulfing at the top on the weekly chart, but we've got a doji there. I do like there is a fair bit of green volume there too. That's looking pretty good. HG. Oh yeah, there's another one that I was liking as well. Look at this. So this is from the IPO. So as you can see, these are very young stocks. You know, we've come down, we've had a massive big push, pull back down, and now we're at support. Previous resistance becomes new support, and we're on the 50 on the daily chart. So that one there, I do like that one. Kavana, here we go. So look at that, beautiful engulfing off through the 50, and then look at the result after it. So yep, looking pretty good. And then now we've got a hammer, another hammer there. So yeah, a little bit of wide and loose trading there, but okay, I'm gonna move on from there. And actually, there was someone that was asking me the other day. This person trades FMG for dividends, and I don't know why you'd really be chasing dividends as seriously, because they're just the rewards. Not necessarily got so much money in there, but the rewards are so small for dividends. You know, we should be, you know, buying the trend and riding the trend. Anyway, 50 is crossed below the 200. Not very good. Stochastics are oversold, but we do have supportive action here on the 200. So 21.15, massive big decline there from about $28 to but what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Righto, traders. Moving on to the next watch list. What have we done? Full crypto list, I think it was, and crypto stocks. So there's a few of these that I'm in, and there's a few of these that I'm watching, like Hood, for example. Oh yeah, I've already had a look at Hood. So Nvidia, let's have a look at Nvidia. I do like Nvidia. I still do like Nvidia. So I ended up getting him back down here, and so this has actually been split 10 for 1, as you know. You know, it's gone up. I think it was about $1,300 or something like that. So about 13, somewhere up about there, 1,300, and it got split 10 for 1. And now each one is worth, well, you know, around about $130. So anyway, first entry, second entry. I actually had another half position size that I entered here, but I got stopped out. So anyway, got 2 in there at this stage here. So MicroStrategy, let's have a look at that. Anything back there? No, not really. So we've gone up and we've pushed along there. So look at this. So we've gone up and we've found very supportive action here on the 50. And look at that. I do like this here. This is the strongest. You know, this here is the strongest reversal pattern that you can get in the when it comes to the candlesticks. Stochastics are oversold, even though we do have quite a bit of selling volume up there. That seems to be pretty strong. But even though we've come back down here and then we've gapped up and then we've traded above the 50. So you know, that's looking pretty good there. I do like that. That's what, you know, I do like what the candles are saying there at this stage. CLSK. So if we can have a look here, so we've got lows, highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, higher highs, and now we're forming a base. Usually when we form a base, don't know what that's about. Usually when we form a base, you know, we can usually see nice, big, strong movements from that base. So looking at that, and on the daily chart, you know, we can see here that it's just kind of been sideways sort of action. You know, there's, you know, cup and handle here, break out, and you know, I ended up buying. Oh, there you go, I bought there. So yeah, it's still pretty ugly, but we're still in the base. So you know, that's pretty much where we're at that one there. So MARA, let's have a look at that one. So, and this is the same again. So you know, we come back down, up, and then we've got a base there. Lows, highs, high lows, high highs, and now we've got a base above all the moving averages. Coin. So this is Coinbase Global. Lots of drawings on there. Get rid of some of those. Yep. And so yeah, it's okay. Lows, highs, high lows, high highs. But if we're coming out of first base, where would first base be? It's either going to be here or here, 1, 2, and if we break out of here, it's going to be a third base breakout on the weekly chart. And we're also coming back into a thing called overhead supply. So all the people that bought in here, and as this is pushing higher, they're going to be wanting to get out at where they bought even money. So we might see a little bit of a congestion there, a little bit of sideways sort of action before we take off. But we can see that the crypto stocks are actually in an uptrend. At this stage here on the weekly charts. So, all right, Hood. I think I just gonna have a look at Hood. Yeah, look at that. So even though we've got a base here and we're broken above that base there, so let's just have a close look on the weekly chart. So if we got the base here, there's the base, and we're broken out above that base, and we pull back a little bit. Now we're getting engulfing, closing above. But here, look at that, we've got a shooting star, but we've got lots of indecision that's happening up here, but it's kind of supportive in a way. Check out the volume on the weekly chart. That's supportive. Yeah, that's looking pretty good actually. And okay, so I just want to go through. Yeah, that'll do on that one there. Those crypto stocks. So IPOs, and I think there was a few that I wanted to see full crypto list because there was some at the bottom. Here we go. Taiwan Semiconductors. So here I ended up buying in here Taiwan Semiconductor, and it went up and came back down. Thought I might be getting stopped out, but I didn't end up getting stopped out on that one there, and it's gone up nicely since then. So yep, that's looking pretty good. Here on the weekly chart there, that was the break, 105. So and looking back on that one there, so I can't remember if I got in here or not. I don't actually think I did because the gap up was too big. So Nvidia, yep, as we've said, yep, got a couple of positions there in Nvidia. So Apple, got into Apple as well. So Apple, once it's gapped up, so we get a nice, like it's trending down nicely, highs, lows, low highs, lower, all that sort of stuff. Then all of a sudden we've got earnings and it's gapped up and found supportive action on the 200. The first engulfing that came out of there after the doji, this candle here is engulfing that doji on support. So anyway, I ended up getting in there for those reasons. And anyway, so we're kind of doing okay with that. I think that's about it. There was one other thing that I did want to show you, and that was market overview. Let's just have a look at that, the SPY. I just want to look at a couple of these here. So the SPY, we can see here we've got very, very tiny sort of action up there. But on the daily charts, we've got supportive action here. We've got a nice cup and breaking that handle there, and then we've kind of moved up from there. So that's on the SPY. That's looking pretty good. And this is the equal weight for the SPY. It just looks like kind of sideways sort of action here, waiting for a breakout. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ. So the Qs, the NASDAQ, yep, that's nice. So, we can see here that we had a few days, like there's a doji engulfing, didn't close below the 9. Now we did close below the 9 a couple after, and now we're straight back above the 9. So we'll have to see what happens here. So far it's looking pretty good. And this was the entry here. It took it a long time. I think it was like about a couple of years for this cup and handle to formulate. So here we've found supportive action on the 200 up, and then a cup with a handle there, and we're broken out at that level there. So, and that is at around about 390. And looking at this one here, yeah, so that's not too bad actually. That would have been this area here. That breakout there with a cup and handle was around about this area here, and I alerted that back then when it happened, about November last year. Okay, I think that's about it. Traders, I'll leave it at that. 23 minutes in, man, gee, that goes fast. All right, traders, I hope you have a good weekend. If you have any questions about your charts, please let me know, and I'll talk to you again soon. See yous.